Welcome to the broadcast. This is Dr. Kesha, and I'm so excited to bring to you my reaction to the Club Shay interview of Meagan Good, interviewed by the Shannon Sharp. All right, I'm excited to bring you my reaction to that particular interview. And I also want to talk about Jessie Wu, okay? Jessie Wu also responded to the interview, and she also responded to another interview, which I'm going to bring to you, which is the interview that Meagan did on the Today Show. Okay, so we'll talk about that as well. In addition to just a free advertising, I'm gonna do some free advertisement for my sister Meagan. She's not my natural sister, but sister as in sister. All right, Meagan. Her new film is coming out tomorrow. Shout out to Tyler Perry. It's Divorce in the Black. And so we want to advertise that as well at the end of the broadcast. All right. So first and foremost, I do like the way that the interview began. But before we do, let me just do some chores real quick, okay? Some housekeeping real quick. Y'all need to like the video, okay? Feel free to make a comment. Y'all want to go back and forth. It's okay. Just be respectful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And if you feel inclined, feel free to share, okay? Yeah, let's do that. Let's get that out of the way. All right. So let's go ahead and start with Shannon. All right. So first and foremost, I like the way they edited because the show did not begin with this, but they edited in this way. It actually was more like it was in the beginning, but it wasn't quite in the beginning. All right. So let's go ahead and see how this particular video starts out.
You an Obama effect with Kat.
I see this interview. Sweetheart. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Castle,
but that's what I am gonna say.
What?
I'm sorry, but my man is sexy to me. we just need to be all the way clear on that.
All the way clear. Okay. So the video started with the edited version of the original interview of her commenting or clapping back to Kat. Remember, in Kat's interview, Kat was saying how I don't want to say I don't remember if he used the word ugly, but he said how unattractive Jonathan Majors was to girls back in the day, or is. And in my opinion, he's not unattractive at all. I think he's handsome. But he was saying back in the day, it is true, back in the day, especially in the Black community, when you have strong, I want to say African features, that wasn't considered attractive to a lot of people. I didn't mind them, but I want to say across the board, that wasn't the features that women were looking for. They were probably looking for more of a in between, or more of a maybe European, more or less like a small nose, small, if it's a full lip, it's a small full lip or something like that. And it's sad, but it's true. So what he said was true in part, but I don't believe that he's unattractive either. I think that again, and also I believe that because of his celebrity, he became more attractive to a lot of women as well. You know what I mean? And then being, essentially, I think he's very bright and intelligent, so, and the fact that he's really good at the acting thing, you know what I mean? I think that also, causes you to shine as well. Your gift, making room for you. I think it just draws people to you. And I think that that's what was happening as well. But yeah, so I agree with him in part, but just him saying that he was unattractive or that he was ugly, I'm glad that she came on there and made that point, because that's her man and her man. And yeah, duh, you don't be talking about my man like that. And she did it in such a cute way, in such a polite way, a respectful way, but at the same time, wait a minute, okay, hold up. This my man, okay. Yeah, she was giving my man tease, but that's all right because it is her man. So I'm happy for her with that. Yeah, that was a whole mess, but it's true. I'm glad that it, again, it didn't start out that way, but yeah. So, there was some other things that came up in this interview as well. I think one of the things that came up in the interview was that she was in the Library of Congress for something. She didn't even know what it was. So she'll get that information later. So I was really surprised to hear that. And so he introduced, of course, he does really great introductions, right? He just goes down the list of things. And so she was flattered by that. Let me see what else that we can share about this one, because I really want to get to the other videos as well and really provide some commentary regarding that. So I want to say, of course, she did talk about Devon. Now, he didn't ask, he asked about certain things that prompted the response, like that would talk about the ex, you know what I mean? And that sort of thing. And of course, he talked about the money aspect, you know, the issues, you know, in Hollywood with actresses being paid what they're worth. He did bring that up. And I thought it was amazing that she talked about, you know, this new film that she's in and how Tyler Perry was the first to pay her what she's worth, and how she was kind of, you know, intimidated, like she really didn't want to say. And she had a conversation with Jonathan. That's the second time that he was brought up in the conversation, and, you know, during the interview, is that she said that she talked to him about it, and he said, you should ask for the high. That's because that's what you're worth. He said, no, you this is what you should ask for, you know. And then she came with that number because Tyler Perry said ask. So she said, I want to call, you know, she didn't really, she was afraid. She was really afraid. So she said, let me just consult with my people and then I'll get back with you. And so when she came up with the number that she felt was fair, you know, Tyler Perry was like, that's what I was going to give you anyway. You know, you don't have to. And she just started crying. And so she did share that part. That was a beautiful part. Shout out to Tyler Perry. You know, it wasn't just her. It was, I mean, Taraji, I think she said the same thing, that he was the first person that really paid her what she was worth. And I think it was Cicely Tyson that also got like $1 million or something like that. So, you know what? Shout out to Tyler. I know that, you know, people got whatever beef they got with him, but I feel like this, when he can do right, he be doing right. You know what I mean? So shout out to him for paying her what she's worth. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. So that was pretty much it. And of course, it started with the beginning. She started, you know, acting at 4, and, you know, just kind of went through her career, you know, the highlight movies and et cetera, her breakout movies and et cetera. I think what was also interesting is that, of course, they didn't ask anything about Jonathan Majors directly. She brought him up, you know, those few times when she brought him up, but he did not ask her any direct questions with regards to him. And I know Jessie Woo, I love her song with her name in it, but she was saying how they just, you know, made sure that, I don't think it was quite like that. I don't agree with that at all. I think that they went in there and said, hey, listen, you know, this is where we are right now with the legal stuff, you know, with the Jonathan, because right now he's in appeals and there's a defamation suit going on. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I honestly believe, because I requested Jonathan Majors a while back, you know, when Shannon started popping, I said, you should get Jonathan Majors on there. I think somebody from his team liked my post. So just to see her, you know, on his platform right now gives me hope. I think that he is going to go on there when the time is right, when the smoke is clear. I think that he will go on there for sure. Okay, for sure. I think that he will go on there. We're going to see that. So just wait for that when it comes out. I'm sure everybody will be interested in whatever it is that he's going to say. And I'm sure that when he does, you know, go on there, when he is interviewed, he's going to be at a place where he's at peace and he can just share his truth. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for him to share his truth, for him to tell his story. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's that. I don't think it was like them trying to control the narrative and trying to control Shannon. I think he understands that it's just not time, but it will be. And they might have even said that, you know, if you don't mind, I would love to come back and do an interview. And he probably said, absolutely. You know what I mean? So knowing that he's going to have the interview is enough for him to not ask any questions, because he's going to table it for when it's time. And to be truthful, I think it's more appropriate for him to answer questions than for Meagan to answer questions on his behalf, right? So I don't have a problem with him not asking questions about him. He was brought up. She did bring some things up pertaining to that. She didn't go deep into that, the focus was her. And so that's where she kept the focus. And I don't have a problem with that. Now, I know Jessie Wu mentioned her being interviewed by other people, and they asked direct questions regarding their relationship and with regarding to the case. And to be honest, I don't remember her going into the case, but I do remember her talking about the relationship, right? Or just a little bit, the fact that they're together and whatever. But we're going to also go into the interview. Yes, let's go into this interview where they actually asked a question. This was on the Today Show. And I think it was literally yesterday when they asked the question. So let's go to this particular. I want to give my commentary on this as well. I think I watched it a couple times, but I don't think I watched it through. But yeah, let's talk about when Meagan Good was on the Today Show. Okay, let's talk about that.
And then, next act of our life.
Yeah, and you're in the next act.
Yeah.
You're dating Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
You said you've never been happier, even though y'all have had a year. I mean, how have you kept your relationship or started a relationship in the midst of all of this?
Well, I won't get into how it started, but what I will say is the support that we've been able to give each other, the pouring into each other, the honest conversations, the love, the respect, just the care and the thoughtfulness. It's been really wonderful. And yeah.
Did any friends advise you, like, he's in the middle of legal troubles? Why don't you wait a beat? Why don't you wait to see how everything kind of shakes out?
Yeah, every friend advised me.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, one thing I know is I can always look myself in the mirror when I trust my spirit, when I trust God, when I ask God, and when I, move to the beat of my own drum. I can always look and say, okay, I'm proud of that. No matter whatever happens, I have peace in my heart and I have harmony in my heart. And it's only when I do something based on someone else saying, well, I think you should do this. And I take everyone I love's opinion and advice into account for sure. But, at the end of the day, I'm the one who has to live my life. And I'm the one who has to, get to heaven one day prayerfully and give God an account of what I did. And so I want to be responsible for the choices that I make.
So let's pause there for just a few moments. I agree with her when it comes to her life. I get that, because like I said, I didn't necessarily agree with the commentary that Jessie Wu made regarding this. She feels like they're trying to be together to prove a point. I disagree. I strongly disagree with that. And I'll tell you why. But I do understand where Meagan is coming from. Like we said a little earlier, when it comes to her dating preferences and her, who she dated in her history, we weren't privy to a lot of that information up until Devin came along. When Devin Franklin came along, that was like the first public relationship that I think we've all seen that she had. But she's had other relationships. So the mere fact that she was, and a lot of people said it was a PR stunt and stuff like that, I just didn't see that. I honestly believe that she, number one, wanted to be a friend to him and wanted to be a support to him during that time. But I also believe that this relationship started before all of his legal woes. That part I do believe. And that's my personal belief. All right. And we'll see if it plays out later on down the line, if the truth comes out. But I honestly believe that whatever was cooking between them in terms of what was sparking between them, maybe it started out as friends. It began way before all of the legal stuff came to the forefront. Okay. That's what I believe. Now, do I believe that they started dating while he was in the midst of his legal stuff? No. I think the relationship started, I believe they knew each other, whatever, in Hollywood, you know how that goes, but not really. But once they got to know each other as friends, I think that things began to spark between them. I think that this is my personal thoughts regarding this. Okay. I believe that maybe one day they probably went out or, just for coffee or something. It wasn't no big to do as friends, as fellow actors or whatever. And I believe that that's when sparks begin to show. And yes, he was in a relationship at the time, but he wasn't happy in the relationship. Because again, for those of us that have been following along with this whole thing, when you go back, you're going to find out that Jonathan tried to break up with the ex like 6 months prior to the incident. Okay. As a matter of fact, he did break up with her, but he got back together with her. So it is entirely possible that, and I think the reason why he got back is like he said, remember, when he did that interview, he said he was a coward. I think he got back with her because he felt bad. She was a basket case. Like the ex, like she was something else. She was an alcoholic. She would do random strange stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I think that she scared him. I really think he was scared of her because he didn't know what she was going to do. Just like when the audio came out, the conversations that they had and stuff like that, I think he was afraid of what she would do. I think that he was afraid that she was going to get him into trouble. And it's not because that he did anything per se. I just think that there might have been some things that transpired in their relationship that was completely innocent, that if she told it, she could twist it and make it look bad. And he's a very, very private person. I honestly really believe that. So I believe that somehow or another, the sparks between them happened, this connection they felt before all the stuff hit the fan. That's what I believe. And I also believe, this is my personal belief, that Cleopatra, remember the text messages that he received in the car before the ex went off and went ballistic and was trying to snatch his phone from him. I believe she was Cleopatra. Did I say Cleopatra? Cleopatra. Cleopatra, right? What is it? You know what I'm talking about. She was the Egyptian heiress or whatever, the queen. I believe that it was her. I do. So I believe that she was aware that Jonathan was in a situation that he really didn't want to be in, that he was trying to get out of. And there was another thing that happened. If you were following the case, see, some of us were following closely, so we know all these nuances. Most of y'all don't know. Y'all just know what you read, and most of the stuff that you read was inaccurate. It really was. They were just doing the most for clicks and likes and interactions. I'm talking about these news headlines and stuff. It was clickbait. Most of the stuff that they were reporting wasn't even factual. Let me be honest. It wasn't the truth. You have to actually go read the transcripts or go to Cat Not Williams and just search Jonathan Majors transcripts to trial, and actually listen to her vlog this, her podcast regarding this, and her break it down, and then you're going to come into the fullness of the understanding. But what they did was, when she did come in town, this is before everything like busted loose. He took her to a play, and this, I think, Pam Entertainment brought this one up. He took her to a play. In the play, it was a biracial couple, and they end up breaking up, and something even breaking out. It was very similar to what happened to them later on that evening, by the way. But I believe that he had every plan on breaking up with her before the text came through. But I think that he just didn't do it fast enough, to be honest. So that's my take. So that's probably why she doesn't want to go into how they connected, how they, met, and all the other stuff. That probably will come out a little bit later, if it comes out at all. Because I believe that maybe during the time that he wasn't with her, somehow or another they connected on a friendship level, and then sparks. I believe that, you know how sometimes you don't even realize it, but you like somebody or you're attracted to them. And I believe that might have happened between them. And then they just said they were going to be friends. But I think it became more than friends. But yet he had to get out of this other relationship so that he can fully, and I think that he was completely honest with Meagan regarding it. I just don't think he was completely honest with the ex regarding what direction he wanted to go in with the relationship. So that's my thoughts with regarding to it. I could be wrong, but that's what I honestly feel. So with that being said, if I felt like my involvement in this situation took it to the next level, I would probably stick around to be a support as well. Honestly, I'm just being honest. If I felt like my text message is what blew it all out of proportion, yeah, I'm probably gonna hang in there, especially if I liked him, especially if we already started a relationship. I'm probably gonna hang in there too. Now, if she came around and he was already in the midst, and I can see that. But honestly believe all this started before all the legal woes came about, before the allegations came about and all that other stuff. Okay. And the thing about it is, as far as the allegations are concerned, again, they're doing this investigative so-called work and they're trying to find dirt on him. A lot of that stuff that was brought up was like maybe 10 years ago. And there's, again, based on what they shared, it's his word against their word. Just like in this situation with the ex, it was his word against her word. And in court, Jonathan proved his case. She did not. That's why that's why the judge ruled in the manner in which he did. That's why the jury ruled in the manner in which they did, because the DA did not prove their case. Their case was extremely weak. They didn't prove it. They didn't prove that he hit her. Okay, that's the first thing. They didn't prove that. But she was hurt. So since they couldn't prove that he hurt her, that's why he got what he got, which was an unintentional misdemeanor. He didn't intend on hurting her because he didn't hurt her. Honestly, they never proved it. So they said, well, he had to, because they were, going back and forth. I don't think he did. It's impossible. Even a doctor testified that the ex, Jonathan Major's ex, her wounds and things that she got, based on her description, there's no way that they could have been made based on what she described. So again, it was a farce. But again, you would have to do your due diligence in order to know that he didn't hit anybody in this situation. And the other women, the judge ruled against using them as a testimony, as a character witness or whatever, or to establish some type of precedent. The judge ruled against it because it was 10 years ago and they had no evidence. It would just simply be a testimony, just their word over his word, like nothing concrete. So the judge was like, no, we're not going to allow them in. So that wasn't something that came up out of the blue, out of the woodwork later. No, these were women that the DA tried to get in the beginning, and the judge said no. And so what they tried to do, because they were trying to do a hit piece on him, what they tried to do is just report it as if it's new. But if you really read the article, it will tell you when they tried to allow them in, but they weren't allowed to come in, and when they were introduced, which was at the beginning of the trial. But it appears as if these brand new women came out of nowhere. More women are coming. No, that's not what happened. But again, if you don't know, that's what I'm saying. And I'm really speaking to Jessie Woo, because Jessie Woo is just going off talking, but she's not coming from a place of fact or a place of certainty. She's just expressing her thoughts and her opinions, which is, again, this is her channel. She has every right to do that. But to me, it's not fair, because it's not based upon, it's not like you did your due diligence or anything. You know what I mean? So let's listen to what she has to say, and I will continue my commentary.
Because that's what set it off, I suggest. Because how does he go from getting his Forrest Gump on from that white lady to running into your black women arms?
See, and that's the part that I don't like. It's a problem now, right? Previous to everyone knowing that he was dating a white woman, everybody was jocking him, right? Everybody wanted him to be, the most best looking man, whatever, all these, pictures of all the muscles and, you know what I'm saying? All the, come on, the pecs and, you know what I'm saying? And all that. They were lusting after this man. And when they found out Not the domestic, not the supposed, not the alleged, whatever violence. When they found out she was white, then everybody flipped the script. Everybody didn't want to have to do with him. Oh, when he brought up Coretta, it was a thing. So I'm sorry. To me, there's a bias there. And so I'm not in agreement with her commentary because it's, and I'm okay with people have a right to have their opinion. I'm just like, let's talk at a place of fact, and we can discuss our feelings, but have a baseline. You know what I mean? Have some type of foundation. Yes, he did date a white woman, but does that mean that he can't be trusted because he dated somebody white? That's ridiculous. Because just like Cat Williams said, not many women were probably checking for him back in the day. And maybe that's why he decided to date somebody white. And it's true. Most nerdy dudes, most dudes that are, socially awkward, introverts, a lot of them don't be getting a lot of play in high school like that. When they go off to college, maybe. But a lot of Black females don't always gravitate towards the nerd types. I have a son. He's nerdy. He wears glasses. He wants to date a Black woman. Most of the white women, they're aggressive. They come to him, they talk to him, they tell him that they like him. The Black girls don't even act like they're interested. Now, if he becomes something and he start making a whole lot of money, guess what? Black girls gonna be coming out the woodwork. All of a sudden, y'all got epiphany. All of a sudden, y'all like him. He's handsome. My son is. He's handsome, but he's not 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? He's not super skinny. He's little, when I say stocky, like he's built, like he's built up his muscles, but he's slender, but he has muscles. Like he has a broad shoulder and like that. Like he's strong, but he's not tall, and he wears glasses and he's smart. So it's like, they're gonna overlook him thinking whatever. But that's the truth. It's the truth. Now Jonathan is taller. But again, he's a little geeky, a little introverted, a little socially awkward. So again, maybe he was interested in Black women. But again, if Black women aren't giving him the time, what he's supposed to do? Not date at all? Like, that's not fair. I think that most people like that. They usually like who likes them. And if a lot of white women, just like my son is experiencing, if they're bold enough to come up to them and bold enough to accept it, the invite and whatever, then hey, they're going to go along with that. But deep down in their heart, maybe their preference is a Black woman, but then maybe they don't feel like they have the confidence to pull the Black woman or whatever the case may be. Maybe in the past they tried and they were let down so many times, who's to say? So I don't think it's fair that because he dated a white woman, we have to throw Jonathan away. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's fair. So going back to Meagan, I think that whatever sparked between them, they kept that going. Jonathan should have cut off that relationship with his ex, Miss Jabari. But he said that he was too much of a coward to break it off with her. And so he found himself in a situation where he should have been honest and broke it off with her. So I think that's why that Meagan, because again, she's trusting her gut and she's in prayer about it, according to her. And she feels like she wants to not only be there for him as a friend, but she wants to be in a relationship with him because she believes that he's the one for her and vice versa. So unusual circumstances, though it may be, but I'm not persuaded that she's making a poor choice, because like I forestated, there's nothing that proved that he hit her. There's nothing that proved that he hit anybody. There's no evidence that happened. It's all alleged. And when they're doing a hit piece on you, they will find people that will come out of the woodwork. And if you pay them, they'll say whatever you want them to say. And even if and it's so funny because the ex, she's texting her friend testifies that she says that she's being scrappy with Jonathan. Scrappy, we know what Scrappy do. Remember Scooby Doo and Scrappy Doo was the little dog. He's always, just want to fight and always, she's saying she's being scrappy with him, and pushing him around and stuff. This is what she's telling the friend. Now, this person's supposed to be afraid of whatever. She was never afraid of him because she knew good and well that he was afraid of her. Okay, afraid that she would do something to potentially ruin his career. That's why he wanted to get out of the relationship. That's why he tried to get out of the relationship prior, but wasn't successful. Yeah, it's a sticky situation. I have to say that no, he may not have handled that situation correctly, but does he deserve to be thrown away? Absolutely not. And this is the first time he's ever done anything that we're made aware of? No, I don't think that that's right. And as far as Meagan is concerned, I feel like she's grown and he's grown. I think it's none of our business. Her family, her friends, they spoke to it early in when they did not know all the facts. They said what they said. They're still together. I don't believe that they're still together because they're trying to prove a point. I don't think Meagan moves like that, to be honest. Now, when Jonathan confessed his love at the when he received the Perseverance Award, I don't believe I know he's a good actor, but I believe that he's extremely private when it comes to his heart. I think that even when he does interviews, you can tell there's a little social awkwardness there. I think that he is a very private person, but to come on that stage and to share his heart with regards to Meagan and how much he loves her for being there for him and I felt that. I'm sorry. There's just something about truth that just resonates. And when you're a feeler like I am and a discerner like I am, you can just discern what's up. Like Drake, for example. Like I could sense that he was fake from a mile away. I don't even listen to his music like that. Just one earshot of the music, just fake. It just exudes fake and phony and fraud. Like seriously, no shade. I'm just telling the truth. That's what I discern, and then here we are. Okay. But the whole time I felt that energy with him. So I think that when you're a feeler and you have discernment, you can sense and feel things if people are real or not, if they're being honest or not. Like you can feel a sense that. And when he was breaking down and saying how much he loves her, I was like, okay. I felt that like he was very sincere. And to be honest with you, anybody that would risk their career, because yes, being tied to him was a risk for her. That wasn't a PR job. That could have potentially ruined her career. But because she's been in the business for so long and she is solidified as authentic, that wouldn't, her association with him would never ruin her career. Because she's been in the business for too long. She has working relationships with directors and producers. They know her since she was a little girl. No, being connected to him will not negatively impact her because she has proven herself to be real and legit and authentic. She just doesn't seem like the type that would even go along with the gag. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't believe that she would have went along with the gag. No, I don't. Let's hear more what Jessie Woo have to say. Lord, I love her though. She's funny to me, but I don't agree. I just don't agree with Miss Woo. I don't.
She was his Coretta. Okay? That white lady was his Coretta, not you.
You know what? First of all, he was with the chick before Meagan, and he said he was looking for Coretta. He said that he was looking for Coretta. Okay? And he said that he found her. No, he was trying to break up with her when he said all that stuff about the Coretta stuff like that. He was trying to break up with her. So that audio tape was like 6 months prior to to the incident. So no, he was trying to break up with her. He realized that she was not that. And it wasn't like the complexion. It had nothing to do. It was class and dignity. Okay, Coretta equals class and dignity. That's what he was saying. He wasn't speaking with regards to her race. He wasn't saying, girl, you need to be black. That's not what he was saying. This man has a master's degree, for goodness sake. Oh my gosh. Like, are we for real? This man has a master's degree. Sorry, I'm eating a gummy, a vitamin. Make sure y'all build up your immune system. Something's coming. So build your immune system or go back to wearing masks in large, especially when you're flying or in small spaces. Make sure you wear a mask or make sure that you are building up your immune system. But no, I don't think it's fair. You know what I mean? To go to the race thing. I honestly don't believe that that's what it is. I don't think that he's into them. I think that he settled for that. That there's a difference there because you can tell, oh yes, I'm Meagan. Yes, yes. Or he would have never got with her. What's the point? If that's not what you're into and you're a millionaire, you can get any girl you want. If you're not into dark meat, okay, and you got money and you got options, now you have options. Before you didn't, now you do. Why would you choose dark meat if you're not into dark meat? To be honest, I think that Jonathan is and was ready to settle down. I felt like he just made a poor choice with the chick. She wasn't ready to settle down. She was too much of a party girl. And I think that she was into his star. You know what I mean? She was into his fame. Like she wanted that. She wanted a piece of the life. But no, I don't think that she was suitable for him at all. They weren't evenly yoked. It wasn't just her, again, her race, her complexion, or what have you. I think it was just who she was. She was an alcoholic. She partied all the time. You know, she brought over friends. Like she did not respect his boundaries. They just were not compatible. This all came out in the midst of the trial. Okay. Even the doctor diagnosed as being an alcoholic or having some type of substance problem. Okay. Or addictive behaviors or something to that effect. A doctor diagnosed her. Okay. So with that being said, I'm sorry, but I just don't agree. I think that they connected way before all this stuff hit the fan. He had broke up with the lady, but he ended up getting back together. Maybe during that downtime when they were broken up, that's when maybe him and, Meagan may have connected as friends, and then it became more. And he realized, I need to get out of this relationship because I think I met the one. Honestly, I think that's what happened. You know, yeah, I'm just not in agreement with Miss Jessie. Woo, I like Jessie, but I'm just not in agreement with her at all. Let me share a little bit of her content and then we'll wrap it up.
Now we got to see this man take you to Red Lobster.
She crazy.
Y'all down to the Red Lobster getting cheddar bay biscuits. Then he's courting you in court. Be for fucking for real. Anyway, let's continue.
You know what? I just don't believe she believes in whatever they have going on. And that's okay. There are some people that still feel that way. I don't. I believe what they have is real. I believe that he really does care for her. I believe that she really does care for him. This is not like her. Let's be, like I said, for those that know, this is not like Meagan to be going on and talking about a man like that. She does not just any old guy. The last time we saw her be open about her relationships like that was with Devon, and she ended up marrying that man. So I'm saying this, she's serious about Jonathan. Because if she wasn't, she wouldn't even be having this. She wouldn't be talking about him like this. She wouldn't be being interviewed and entertaining those questions. She is media trained. She knows how to handle the media. Okay. Like I said, you're talking about a veteran. You're not talking about somebody that's a newbie, new school. They don't know what they're. No, this is a veteran here. She's been schooled. Okay. By the best. Okay. So she knows what she's doing. Now, again, early on, I could see her friends and family being concerned, and yet I would be a level of concern. But once we discovered that a lot of those allegations were lies and they were later debunked, that's when we were like, okay, you know what I mean? This isn't true. So it's good that he have a writer, because who would want to go through that alone? Especially when you're innocent. The man didn't hit the girl. He didn't. He was trying to get away from her. And he didn't hit her. He wasn't even in the townhouse with, that was his penthouse, by the way. He wasn't even with her. He was at a hotel. All that stuff and then all throughout the recordings, all this stuff is again on record, testified, on record, in trial. All the videos that were shown of her shortly after getting out of the car, chasing him down the street of 5 Manhattan blocks, she later then connected with some strangers and went partying. They have her on tape having conversations with the strangers and not mentioning one time that she was injured. She's partying like a rock star, and she hit her head on the bar and didn't complain one time about any injuries. It wasn't until, again, he called the police. She did not. She was shocked that that man called the police, okay? Because she didn't think that he would do that. She thought maybe he would get entry, find out that, you know, she was faking, because she was, okay? And we got proof of that too. All of that is in the trial. Y'all don't do your due diligence. Y'all just listen to or read whatever headlines and just run with it. Learn. Y'all got to dive deep when it comes to these types of things. Okay? No, she was faking. And she was hoping that he would get, again, some type of super maintenance man to open up that door, because she locked herself in to discover her. She thought that he would discover her and that somehow they'll whatever, because she didn't even have any panties on. Play it off. Play it off, okay? Anyway, I just wanted to comment on that. I don't agree at all with Jessie. I love her, but I don't agree. I love when her song with her waterfall song is good. Shout out to her, but I'm just not in agreement. But I'll leave the link in the description. I'll leave Shannon's interview with Meagan in the description. I'll leave Jessie Woo's commentary as well, and I will put the Today Show interview with Meagan as well in the description. And last but not least, let me go ahead and share what's going on today as of January 11th. Let me make sure you see what I see. All right, so this is the show. This is the Tyler Perry show. I don't know if I mentioned this. I'll mention it really quickly. But in the interview with Shannon, she began to share, again, he asked her a question about, the salaries and how, the actresses feel like they're not being paid what they're worth, and just the discrepancies and all of that. And she said, it's true. You know what I mean? It's true. I haven't been paid what I've been worth either. You know what I mean? And she said, Tyler Perry is the first person to pay me what it is that I'm worth. And then she began to tell the story when they were talking about, negotiating the money. And she said, well, how much do you think you should get paid? And she was like, well, let me talk about it. He said, no, just give me a number. She was like, let me just, because she didn't know what to say. She said, I don't even know. No one's ever asked me like that. So she said, let me just talk it over, Tyler. I promise I'll come back, whatever. So she talked to her people, and then she talked to Jonathan. That's what the second mention of Jonathan was, when that conversation came about. And then Jonathan said, well, how much? And then she told him, and then she said, you should tell him that you tell him what you're worth. And so when she finally did, she was nervous and everything, but she told him, and he said, yes, that's the number that I was going to give you. And she started crying, because that was the first time in all these 30 years that she's finally being compensated what she's worth. That's amazing. I mean, sad, but it's amazing. You know what I mean? At the same time, it's amazing that Tyler would be that one. Happened to be a black man. Okay. Hello. But all these years, come on, y'all. Hollywood, do better. Do better. All right. So that's that. So I'm looking forward to this movie. I'm going to go check it out. It might be available now, but I'm going to check it out. I was trying to see if the video would play. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see.
You have taught me since I was a little girl to be a good wife.
Stop! That boy put his hands on you.
I tried everything. I thought I could love him through it.
Ava, you need a restraining order.
Ain't you glad to see me?
How do I stop the bleeding? I gave up so much of myself to be with you. Be careful pushing a good woman too far.
No rest for the wicked.
See Divorce in the Black. So I'm excited about that. I don't know if you are going to go check it out. Well, you should check it out because it's on Amazon Prime. Why don't you go ahead and check it out, especially if you got it, okay? Let's support the arts, okay? So that's all that I got. I don't want to stretch this out more than it needs to be stretched out. I just wanted to say shout out to Shannon yet again, giving a wonderful interview and not being abrasive and just being patient and allowing her to speak her speech and to share her heart and all that stuff. Like I said, I didn't learn anything new. It was like a couple things or whatever, but for the most part, since she's been around for so long and I've basically been watching her interviews over the course of years, I am proud of her. You know what I mean? Just again, her stepping out into her shell and just, you know, again, having more interviews, just coming into the limelight. It is definitely her time to shine. And so I hope that she continues on. And she's also in Harlem. I actually saw the first season. I really enjoyed it. So go check out Harlem. I think you can catch Harlem on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. So she's also on Harlem as well. So let's support the arts. Let's support the arts. I'm all for that. So let's just keep Meagan and Jonathan in prayer. These are grown people. They're going to make decisions concerning their life as they should. You know, it's okay to listen to the advice of people, but it's got to be based on facts. A lot of these advice is more about, I'm concerned, but I really don't have any concrete evidence of anything. I just, you know, this is probably not the right time. People have to make their own choices. You can advise them. You can tell them what you believe to be the truth, but it's ultimately up to them. And if anything, we should just provide support, you know what I mean? Wise counsel and just love on them. You know, I think Jonathan's doing the right thing by continuing with counseling. I think he's doing the right thing because he also has to, I think he was mandated to go to anger management and those types of things. So listen, and I think somebody mentioned, I don't know if it was Jessie Wu, I think in her commentary about his daughter, he wasn't allowed to see his daughter. And he's a very private person. He wasn't even online. And so she was saying something like he hides his daughter. He hides this. No, he's just a private person. You know, remember back in the day when the actors were private and everybody and their mama wasn't on social media? He's more old school, just like Kendrick Lamar. He's not on social media either like that. A lot of people don't like being on the phone. A lot of people don't like being on social media every minute and second of the day. That's just a personality. That's a choice. Not everybody's like that. Now, not everybody wants to allow their children to be targets. If y'all saying all this stuff about him, I can see why he's overly protective of his daughter, of you all finding out who she is. Y'all literally talking about this dog man like he's a dog because he's dating a white chick. Y'all claiming all the things that he's done is true. What do you think his daughter's going to feel hearing everybody saying that he's a woman beater? Like, come on, are you serious right now? Okay, so he couldn't see his daughter because the mother wouldn't allow him to because of all of these allegations. Okay, so they got enough going on. So no, he shouldn't show his daughter. Okay, because that's none of our business. If you can't be trusted to be kind to him, I know you're not going to be kind to a child because there's a lot of imbeciles, unfortunately, on social media that got a whole lot to say, a lot of keyboard warriors, if you will, but they punks in real life. Okay, I'm just being real. So with that being said, the man has every right to protect his family by not putting them out there like that. I think that's smart. I think that's wise, especially in the midst of a fiery trial. It's none of no one's business. And prior to that, he wasn't doing it. So why should he switch up now? And like I said, as far as the relationship with him and Meagan, he kept most of his relationships private. The reason why that became public is because of who they are. They're both stars. He could play off the other chicks because they weren't. And then the ones that he dated prior was like 10 years ago. He wasn't even known as of yet. So he wasn't even on the radar. You know what I mean? So them other chicks were like him. They were just attending college. Like, you know? And so I think maybe the first real relationship might be with this white chick. Low key. Since he's been in the industry, maybe dated a couple here and there. You know, so again, let's give people the benefit of the doubt, all right? And stop judging folks based on basic or stuff we see. You know what I mean? We just make judges. We don't know all the facts, but we love to throw somebody under the bus. So that's all that I got. I just wanted to give you all this multi-reactionary thing. Let you all know that I'm here. I just want to share some tea and give you something to think about. We should give people the benefit of the doubt. I like Meagan. I think she lasts as long as she has been lasted in the industry because she's smart. And I think that she knows what she likes, and that's it. She's gonna make her decisions, and I like that about her. I like the fact that she knows what she wants, and she's gonna move accordingly, and she's not gonna be swayed by people. To me, that's a very secure individual. And if it doesn't work out, just like she said, then okay, it's just not meant to be. But as far as people telling her who she can't date, who she should date, she don't move like that. And honestly, quite frankly, I mean, unless somebody's saying, thus said the Lord, I'm not trying to hear that either. You know, especially if I feel like I have a connection with somebody and it's mutual. And this person hasn't shown me any tendencies or any signs that they're this way. I'm just going to have to again, keep both eyes open, continue to be prayerful. But yeah, I think that she has to make her own decision. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Last but not least, again, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Feel free to make a comment. I know everybody is not team Jonathan, but could you put yourself in his shoes for once? I mean, you were on top of the world and you literally lost everything because of one incident. Because of one. He's not like he that shall not be named or remain nameless have all kinds of stuff going on with him, and it finally just hits the fan. That's not the same. He has been non-problematic up until this point. So come on. I mean, again, we are, as a collective, we can just be some of the harshest critics, strong judges of people. And we don't judge rightly. We just judge based on how what we see. And that's not fair to literally tear down someone's career based on clickbait, on a headline. That's not right. We got to do our due diligence in order to figure out, is this really true? Especially how the judicial system is when it comes to Black and brown people. Are y'all for real? So anyway, we forget that part. All right, then. Let me go ahead and go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, God bless you. And shalom. See ya. Gotta go. Bye.